Good morning or good afternoon where you are. My name is Vishal, and welcome to our webcast where we will be covering how we're seeing advent of smart factories, specifically within the manufacturing industry. Again, I'll be your host for the day or for the webcast, and my name is Vishal Kular, and we're co-presenting this webcast with Oracle and Evos. Joined with me is Scott, who is the Global Director of Product Strategy within Oracle, and Wasim, who leads the Evos manufacturing practice. And we'll certainly we'll take questions from a logistics. Please feel free to add your questions to the chat feature. I'll be monitoring it and I'll convey it over to Scott or Wasim. And without further ado, Scott, please go ahead. I'll maybe a quick intro from your side, and then we can go into some of the trends we see within the Industry 4.0.
Great. Thanks, Vishal. Hello, it's a pleasure to speak to the group. Today, I'm Scott Renner, I'm the Director of Industrial Manufacturing for Oracle in our industry strategy group. And before Vishal and Wasim talk about their approach to cloud implementations for manufacturing and their customer successes in the cloud, I want to share a few things about Oracle at a higher level and what we see as current trends and challenges in the market and how Oracle is building solutions that our customers. Oracle has been a major player in the technology and applications arena for 40 years. I think that's pretty well known. That fact alone is a tremendous testament to the value Oracle has brought to the business marketplace. But to have that kind of longevity in perhaps the most fast-paced, volatile industry ever, that is technology, requires vision and the top number you see here on the slide. Oracle continues to invest in development and R&D year in and year out, making us amongst the top 20 companies in R&D spend anywhere at any time in any industry. Like many of our manufacturing customers, we know that we must continually reinvest and innovate. And that kind of R&D is just simply required to provide solutions in a business environment where technology is advancing at an ever-increasing pace. Much philosophy has been written about the fourth industrial revolution, but revolutions come and go. And lately it seems that they just come. And in the course of a single generation, we've seen two major revolutions: the computerization of business and life in general of the last 30 years, and the current revolution of intelligence and automation in Industry 4.0. The era of technological advancements is undeniable, and the smart money is on continued acceleration of technological breakthroughs that will have profound impacts on how our customers develop product, the competition they face, and how they go to market with their products and services. The investment in Industry 4.0 technologies has been growing at a compound annual rate of almost 20% with no reasonable end in sight, and has started to occupy the psyche in manufacturing investment in a major way for the last several years, and has become of strategic importance to companies on par with other hot buttons such as lean manufacturing, customer experience, total cost of quality, etc. Having originated as a concept to increase the efficiency of manufacturing through the use of modern technologies like IoT and robotic automation, process control, and analytics. These same concepts for the factory have been expanded to cover the complete value chain for business digital transformation in general. And that is what is really guiding Oracle's go-to-market strategies and product investments. It's not enough to have a smart manufacturing solution or just a customer experience solution or a service solution. The real transformation comes from enabling the complete enterprise with a common platform, common data model, and an infrastructure that has no barriers to interoperability. But it's not just the technology that's causing all this disruption. For manufacturing, there's currently a great confluence of equally important forces at play. Starting with the very lifeblood of manufacturing, which is labor. Labor continues to challenge the industry. The aging workforce, lack of availability of labor and skills is driving manufacturers to invest in automation for sheer survival. The nature of products have changed. Data has become a new commodity. More intelligence is built into even the dumbest products. And new applications create wedge points for asymmetric competition. This has a direct impact on our customers' product development processes, the integration of sophisticated subsystems, and a desire to take advantage of this new connectedness that expands services and expands additional revenue opportunities. Next is the physical process of manufacturing is changing. Digitalization of the process enables simulation and visualization applications. Process automation is a given with investments in robotics, automated process controls, often having payback of less than a year. The digital technologies such as additive manufacturing will, not maybe, but will maximize concepts of JIT, agile and lean manufacturing, co-location, and much, much more. And the list goes on, of course. We have geopolitical events, and without even pandering to the latest pandemic, geopolitical events and changes in outsourced economies are disrupting the low-cost procurement paradigms that have dominated manufacturing since the beginning of the century. And supply chains are now focusing on total cost of acquisition, risk diversification, and operational continuity. Regulatory and environmental issues continue to shape industries and society, and the hub economies of the electronic marketplaces like Amazon and Alibaba are becoming significant in the value chain, and that includes industrial products. This is becoming really a forced business partner, whether you like it or not. All of this combined with the technology creates a business environment of the likes we haven't seen since the last revolution. So while the manufacturing industry is going through great change, the response to these macro factors kind of condense into some fairly simple, straightforward motivation and direction. The operational agility is of strategic importance. Every manufacturer wants a competitive edge and being able to upscale or downscale operations, change sales and production operations to products that optimize profitability, perhaps based on unforeseen changes, and institute systems and processes that formally diversify risks. Industry 4.0 has created an awareness of not only where manufacturing is going in the intermediate term, which is obviously towards higher levels of automation, but also awareness that manufacturers must also compete with each other in operational efficiency. And Industry 4.0 is making companies more efficient. And the need for enhanced labor efficiency is just simply an overarching need for the industry at large. Yes, as much in the investment in new capabilities would not be so critical if it were not for labor shortages and skills in manufacturing. So while the age-old manufacturing mantras of more, better, faster, cheaper is alive and well, some of the reasons that are driving change are new, and manufacturers are turning to new tools to achieve their goals. So when and how do you start? The when is easy, and it's not really a question. The when is yesterday. The days of hedging your bets and waiting for things to quote get real are gone, in my humble opinion. Operation systems in the cloud is real, IoT is real, digital manufacturing is real, and there are now enough real world experiences to know that the benefits are real. The how, I think, is a little more complicated. It starts with a manufacturer having a digital transformation strategy from the very top of the organization down, a tactical execution plan, and that plan should be informed on 8 basic constructs that I want to talk about next. The first concept is to understand the digital thread. Digital thread is both a conceptual and a physical entity. By collecting data from everywhere within the value chain and creating interrelated data sets of events like market and customer data, product attributes, supplier and material qualities, raw material conversion data, production assets, so on and more, give analytical insights to positive and negative business outcomes that would otherwise be non-intuitive, giving a manufacturer the ability to identify difficult to find cause and effects that are often separated by space and time. The second concept is to make an honest assessment of your current enterprise platforms. Do they provide the kinds of capabilities that are required to compete in the next revolution? What investment is required to get them there? And if the answer is no, is it worth investing in the current platform? Massive amounts of data will require scalability, flexibility, and a continual investment in new technology capabilities and incorporating those new technologies into the platform. Obviously, I think cloud delivered SaaS model inherently delivers these attributes with a business justification that makes it hard, if not impossible, to beat. There's value in the unknown. Accept that there are limits to what is humanly knowable, and that there's value in knowing the unknown. Big data analytics and data processing algorithms like machine learning need to become a significant tool in business operations. I think this is probably one of the hardest concepts to just truly acknowledge and accept, because we simply don't know what we don't know. The industry has relied on statistical process control and analysis for many decades. But this is different. There's some obvious differences in data management and algorithms that are being deployed, but mostly it's different on scale. The impact of many thousands of variables are not limited to a localized process, but wrapped around the entire enterprise for complete analytic capabilities. Advanced technology should be out of the box. The intimidation of incorporating advanced technology within your management and decision support system should be removed through the inclusion of this technology, so that it has a specific application and it just simply works. IoT analytics, big data management, and AI are things that augment and enhance traditional business processes and applications, and therefore should be built in, not bought as a development toolbox for a manufacturer to implement on a unique case-by-case basis. Hook up the physical. Early IoT initiatives were notoriously prone to failure because of a lack of a complete closed loop system. Data from physical things like material location, facilities, the operation status and health status of production assets, and even personnel, are collected in this detect phase. This is new data that hasn't been implemented in traditional ERP systems. The data is then analyzed in real time, sometimes time shifted. But most importantly, fed back into the organization in an act phase. It's this last phase of act that enables an organization to create value. Without the act component, the best an organization gets is a report card telling you that something bad happened. A complete Industry 4.0 or digital transformation solution must be able to do all of these steps. AI everywhere. Only a small percentage of manufacturers have both the organizational leverage and unique use cases to develop their own AI applications. But modern enterprise platforms have democratized AI by making them one of the foundational elements. AI should not be a toolkit, but delivered as part of the business solution. At my last count, we had over 50 AI applications within the existing cloud platform, and this list grows as new functionality is released on a quarterly basis. Focus on experiences. Because of the infinite possibilities of digital transformation initiatives, developing and prioritizing projects can be suboptimal if not systematically attacked. Companies often choose the perspective of key stakeholders to focus initiatives. The smart factory is a focus for Industry 4.0 projects, and CX is also a very popular set of priorities for customer experience. But how a company prioritizes parts of the organization is dependent on their own market needs. And while I think focusing on these areas often makes sense, it's critical to understand that these are tactical decisions and should have the context of the larger enterprise strategy. And finally, ecosystem. Digital transformation spans the entire value chain, transgresses horizontally and vertically through your market spaces, and no singular company does it all. As large as Oracle is, we can't possibly do it all. Applications, infrastructure, technology, and business partnerships must work together to deliver a complete Industry 4.0 solution and a digitally enabled enterprise. The interoperability is the key element, and interoperability drives the first concept that I mentioned, the digital thread. The cause and effects and innovation breakthroughs often happen by connecting elements that are separated by space and time. And the wider that digital thread spans throughout the value chain, the more effective and responsive and agile your operations will become. So in closing, why Oracle? I think Oracle is a proven business partner with 40 years of technology and manufacturing experience. We have deep application and industry expertise. That kind of success comes with almost mandates fiscal soundness and continual reinvestment. And we have a customer base that is many thousands, hundreds of thousands of customers, installations in well over 100 countries, really more precisely little less than 200 countries, 25,000 companies in the partner network. This just creates a vibrant ecosystem that not only supports your implementation needs and sustainability, but ensures a platform for continual innovation. We're committed to success. So everyone, to our customer success. So everyone knows the saying, put your money where your mouth is, and Oracle has doubled down. Not only have we implemented our own cloud platform for our own diverse business operations, we're all in on the cloud platform as a business model, where we know that it's not enough just to have a class-leading software product, because when a manufacturer relies on Oracle as part of their operational infrastructure, operational excellence, customer service must be part of your business culture, and we know this is necessary for our continued success. World-beating infrastructure, a combination of Oracle's Gen 2 OCI cloud delivers high performance at low cost, and the market is realizing the all-important price per compute ratio that really drives IT cloud budgets. And here we deliver a 2 times advantage over Amazon Web Services, which is the largest cloud provider. And lastly, and certainly not least, Oracle's class-leading enterprise applications have many leadership designations from independent analysts, many applications that are simply recognized as flat out best of breed, and widely recognized as the market leader in cloud enterprise applications, where our nearest on-prem competitor, SAP, many times doesn't even make the list because of their lack of market penetration. So it's been a pleasure presenting this to you. It gives you a little bit of flavor of kind of how we see the market and how we approach the market, I hope. And I'm happy to turn this back over to Vishal.
Great. Thank you, Scott. That was quite helpful to understand the trends that are shaping the industry. And it is quite exciting times, given, where we are in the crossroads and how cloud and some of the innovative capabilities built into the cloud, especially the things you touched around AI and IoT, allows us to really bring value to our customers rapidly. So what we want to cover in our next part, second half of the presentation, is the how, meaning what solutions we can help deploy on the cloud for customers. And we'll start with a quick introduction about Evos. If you remember at the beginning, I mentioned we are co-presenting with Oracle. Quick intro about Evos. We are an implementation partner for cloud. And there are 3 unique differentiators that we bring to the table. First is our success implementing cloud solutions for a number of manufacturing customers. Cumulatively, we have implemented exciting solutions across industrial manufacturers, high-tech manufacturers, a number of manufacturers, even within the manufacturing broad industry. And overall, we've taken more than 1,000 plus customers across the cloud finish line. We do operate across Asia, EMEA, North America is our focus area as well. But what that does is it allows us to implement these global solutions on a global basis, but still local consultants. And we do have a big practice, a large practice around Oracle with more than 1,500 plus customers. So all in all, we are quite deep with the Oracle cloud solutions and can be one of your go-to partners to really realize the benefits of cloud solutions. And last but not least, the way we implement the solution is as a fixed bid and more geared towards value-based. And what that allows us to do is really de-risk the cloud implementation for our customers. Okay. Next slide, Wasim. Just awards and accolades from Oracle. If you were at Oracle Open World last year, we were chosen as the Partner of the Year. And over the last 3 years, we've been chosen as Oracle's Partner of the Year across a number of back office solutions, across ERP, HR solutions, and so forth. And this is because of our experience in solving quite unique and complex customer challenges. Okay, and last but not least, if you follow the Gartner's Magic Quadrant on the next slide, we are ranked high on the Gartner's Magic Quadrant, and in fact, we were ranked #1 on customer satisfaction by Gartner. Okay. Next slide is just to illustrate the type of solutions that we have implemented for a number of global manufacturing companies. We've implemented anywhere from customers with 50 million in revenue to large, anywhere up to the size of 5 billion in revenue across a number of industries. Some of these names are well known. Some of these names are also industrial manufacturing companies. But all in all, we present that robust end-to-end implementation experience for manufacturing customers. So at this point, let me pass the baton over to Wasim, and we can take a deeper dive across some of the trends and what solutions we can bring to the table.
I'm going to start the slide with a customer success story, which Oracle and Evos has achieved at one of our manufacturing customer. The customer is DIH Group. DIH Group is a manufacturer of rehab equipments, which are continuously involved in improving patient lives. DIH Group is a owner of the leading brands of Hokomo and Motek, which you might be aware if you are into the rehab equipment space. With the presence in global presence around North America, Europe, and Asia, they have around 10 plus legal entities operating in multiple regions with multiple sales and service hubs. The major part of the business involves manufacturing of equipment, which would be helping in the rehab services and providing post-sale support. The solutions which were implemented as part of the transition had an end-to-end footprint starting from Oracle Cloud CX solutions, CRM, financials, supply chain solutions, which include manufacturing, maintenance, as well as the regular routine logistics supply chain. Solutions of human capital management and chatbot was also implemented for this transition. The transition of the customer was from an on-premise application of Infor, wherein we took all the 3 manufacturing plants in a big bang implementation from their on-premise application to end-to-end Oracle Cloud footprint. When the implementation was started, the key challenges or the pain areas which were required to be addressed were around the integrated and a standardized process around supply chain and customer experience. Here in supply chain, it would also include manufacturing and post-sales support, which involves a field service and end-to-end depot repair solution. Another key challenge was around the compliance requirement. Having a multiple legal entity and a global presence, one of the other challenges were around the implementation of intercompany transactions and consolidations. In terms of the Evos' value add on top of Oracle Cloud Solutions, Evos had implemented a recall process management, which helped them to get better insight into the customer assets, ultimately improving the sales service management from the service request to the field service process. Consignment stock management for the sales hubs was also one of the key achievements of this transition. Trade and regulatory compliance challenge was also resolved with product registration and export control screening. One of the key challenges which organizations face is around the opportunity pipeline based forecasting. Supply chain is generally dependent on the historical forecast. However, based on the current market trends, it is very important to also look at the opportunity pipeline. And that's what we did at DIH. Using the supply chain planning of opportunity pipeline, the supply chain was forecasted, which in turn lead to a better supply and demand monitoring. Apart from that, integrations with non-Oracle applications were also one of the key value adds. In terms of the key transition benefits, service management was on the top of the list in terms of providing an end-to-end traceability of the service components which are going into an assembly equipment and for supporting the post-sales support. In terms of financials, the intercompany and transfer pricing standardization also help them to achieve a better consolidation and a better period closing. In terms of the manufacturing shop floor efficiency, capacity management was one of the key solutions which Oracle and Evos brought in this transition. And this led to an on-time shop floor completions and also getting a better efficiency for labor and equipment capacity. Standardization of product costing and GDPR compliance was also one of the transition benefits. In terms of the reporting and KPI, reduction of production downtime, defect density reduction, as well as the reduction in the rework cost was on the top of the list. This was the story around the customer success which we achieved at DIH Group with Oracle and Evos. In this slide, I'm going to talk about one step ahead. What we looked at DIH was more of from an assembly or original equipment manufacturer perspective. In terms of Evos and Oracle experience, it involves the entire ecosystem of supply chain. Evos and Oracle has vertical as well as supply chain industry expertise, which starts from product lifecycle management to manufacturing, distribution, and logistics, and would also roll to retailers. Moving ahead, I'm going to talk about the manufacturing industry challenges and Oracle and Evos accelerators, which would help you to transition from your current on-premise or cloud applications to an end-to-end Oracle cloud footprint. When you currently look at the manufacturing industry, one of the key challenges which you would be facing is around the product life cycles. The product life cycles have been continuously shrinking, and there are always tighter product release targets, which in turn creates a pressure on the research and development as well as the engineering team, leading to an impact on the quality of the product. The product life cycles have to be properly monitored, otherwise this can become a challenge in terms of the quality of the product. An end-to-end traceability of the product is also one of the key requirements of the manufacturing industry, and with blockchain and other IoT technologies, this has came to a solution. However, still manufacturing industries are yet to adapt to the shop floor visibility, which in turn creates challenge in terms of manufacturing operations. Unexpected surprises in demand, supply, and operations has been on the rise, and with current COVID crisis, this has also increased. And there is always a requirement to do ad hoc planning as well as have a lean manufacturing capability to cope with the unexpected rises in demand. With an increase in manufacturing as a service model, there has been increased contract manufacturing and outsourced manufacturing. However, organizations still lack to identify or monitor these activities, ultimately cutting down the efficiencies which they were achieving with contract manufacturing with a loss of customer benefit. So these are some of the key challenges with the manufacturing industries are facing. And if we look at the statistics, you can see most of the manufacturers have an outlook where their key target is on the reduction of the cost. However, reduction of the cost or production cost can be achieved with one of the key factor of having a latest manufacturing technologies. Manufacturing technologies would involve blockchain, adaptive manufacturing, as well as AI. So in the next slides, we are going to talk about the solutions which are available for the industry challenges. Connected business process is one of the key things for a manufacturing industry, where end-to-end integration or end-to-end footprint is required, where the process starts with the planning of the operations, moving on to the execution of those operations on the shop floor, and then giving the service to the customer via an efficient WMS and logistics processes. Having done that, ultimately the process has to be improved by the post-sales support and service logistics process, and that would fall under the optimization process. So a connected business process has become a need for the modern day manufacturer. To support this, Oracle has a broader, simpler footprint, which involves the end-to-end supply chain processes from ideate to commercialize, which would take care of the product lifecycle management for the engineering team to launch the new product, innovate and launch the product with the project management, launching the product and ensuring that the product release targets are achieved on time. source to settle to ensure that the procure to pay or source to settle processes are efficiently managed with the benefits coming out of the blanket agreements or the contracts are getting to the manufacturers. Order to cash for an efficient order promising and execution of the sales transaction. Plan to produce a solution of Oracle would cater to the supply chain planning involving the demand management forecasting based on a historical shipment history and executing the manufacturing and quality processes. Post-sales support as well as the maintenance processes would involve an asset management, which would be an internal asset management or customer asset management, and getting analysis of the performance, overall improving the product quality. To ensure an efficient logistic services, Oracle has warehouse management along with transportation management to ensure that the shipments are optimized and are reaching on time. The digital thread, which earlier Scott talked about, so Evos and Oracle has an expertise around implementation of IoT with fleet monitoring, asset monitoring. So Evos has customer success stories around the IoT and big data space, along with blockchain and adaptive intelligence, which are some of the key factors of Industry 4.0. With the diverse experience Evos has gained with manufacturing implementations, Evos has built a set of Evos accelerators, which would help you transition from your current on-premise application to Oracle applications. Oracle SaaS layer, which you can see at the top, would be supported by these accelerators to cover up some of the industry specific needs. If I talk specifically about an assembly or steel cutting industry, there might be a need for an optimization. These optimizations are generally achieved by in the cut logic applications, which would do the efficiency in terms of steel cutting sheets. This all support is provided by Evos for integrating Oracle SaaS applications with the third-party applications. This would be handled by the batching and optimization support provided by Evos. Along with that, Evos has built accelerators based on our previous implementation experience of equipment tracking, which would help you to track an install base as well as do the servitization process. Definitely, this all accelerators can be brought on board whenever the implementation is being done, and this accelerators go integrated with Oracle SaaS, so you don't have to worry about the integration or the working mechanism. Warehouse 360 is one of the key such solution which Evos has built. It is a mobility solution for supply chain applications. This Warehouse 360 application would help you mobilize your entire warehouse for performing various manufacturing and supply chain transactions, along with the support for label printing as well as detailed warehouse management system. It is tightly integrated with Oracle supply chain, so you don't have to worry about the integration capabilities. And offline operational capabilities help you to process transactions when you are out of network connectivity and have enhanced worker productivity. The transactional visibility of Warehouse 360 would help you in terms of the reporting of the warehouse and the inventory transactions. This has been built on Oracle PaaS layer, so it would give you the advantage of one Oracle application. These are some of the snapshot of a Warehouse 360 application. These are mobile friendly. This can be used in Android as well as iPhone devices, as well as it can be used on rugged devices in the shop floor and warehouses. We talked about a lot of applications and solutions around the manufacturing space. However, one of the key challenges which organizations face once they have gone live or once the implementation has been completed, as a second phase, the indirect procurement and inventory would be going. As a next phase, the sales process would be going. And as a last phase, manufacturing and the supply chain planning would go into the implementation. To support the flexible paths to cloud, the applications mentioned on the left-hand side, they can go either on standalone basis or it can go as an integrated application. If you are currently onto an implementation, however, so we were talking about the flexible paths to cloud. It can be a divisional transformation or the phase-wise transformation. Along with that, Oracle also provides the capability to have a standalone implementation of certain products, which can be supply chain planning, warehouse management, or transportation management. There are other integrated applications which are manufacturing, sourcing, and order management. The flexible path to cloud can be decided based on the requirements of the client and based on the transition needs of the client.